Hello, everyone. Today, I want to talk about something very important. We will talk about English reading and speaking practice. Many people want to speak English well, but they feel nervous. Some people feel shy. Some people think their English is not good enough. But that is okay. Every good speaker was once a beginner. Every fluent person once struggled with simple words. Learning English is a journey, and every journey begins with one small step. When I first started learning English, I felt afraid. I did not know many words. I could not speak long sentences. When people spoke English around me, I became quiet. I worried about making mistakes. I thought people would laugh at me. Because of this fear, I avoided speaking English. I stayed silent most of the time. One day, I realized something important. If I never practiced, I would never improve. I understood that mistakes were not my enemy. Mistakes were my teachers. That day changed my thinking. I decided to practice a little every single day. The first thing I started doing was reading simple English stories. I chose very small stories with easy words. At first, I could only understand a few sentences. Sometimes I stopped many times to look at new words. It was slow, but I did not quit. Every day I read a little more. Reading helped me in many ways. It showed me how English sentences are made. It taught me new vocabulary. It also helped me understand grammar naturally. I did not try to memorize difficult grammar rules. Instead, I learned by reading again and again. One day, I read a short story about a boy and his dog. The story was simple, but it made me happy. I learned words like happy, hungry, tired, and friendly. After reading the story many times, I started using those words in my own sentences. Slowly, English started feeling less scary. Speaking practice was harder for me. Reading was quiet and safe, but speaking felt different. When I spoke, people could hear my mistakes. I felt embarrassed. But I knew I had to practice speaking if I wanted to become fluent. So I started talking to myself in English. Yes, it felt strange at first. I spoke while walking in my room. I spoke while looking in the mirror. I described simple things around me. I said things like, "This is my chair. I am drinking tea. Today the weather is hot." These small sentences helped me become comfortable with English. Every morning, I made a small routine. I read one page of an English story. Then I spoke in English for 5 minutes. Sometimes I talked about my day, my dreams. Other times I talked about what I wanted to eat. The topic was not important. The important thing was speaking every day. At first, my sentences were very short. I made many mistakes. Sometimes I forgot words in the middle of speaking. But I continued. Day after day, my confidence slowly grew stronger. Listening also became part of my practice. I listened to English videos and simple podcasts. I listened carefully to pronunciation. I repeated sentences after the speakers. This helped me improve my speaking. When you listen often, your brain starts remembering the sounds naturally. One evening, I watched a simple English video about daily life. The speaker talked slowly and clearly. I understood many words. That moment made me excited. For the first time, I felt real progress. I realized my hard work was helping me improve. Another thing that helped me was reading out loud. This is very powerful. When you read silently, your eyes practice. Pers- but when you read aloud, your mouth and ears practice too. I started reading short paragraphs aloud every day. Sometimes I recorded my voice and listened to it later. At first, I did not like hearing my own voice. I noticed many pronunciation mistakes. But instead of feeling sad, I used those mistakes to improve. Little by little, my pronunciation became clearer. I also kept a notebook with me. Whenever I learned a new word, I wrote it down. Then I made a sentence with that word. For example, when I learned the word excited, I wrote, "I am excited to learn English." Writing sentences helped me remember words better. Sometimes learning felt difficult. There were days when I felt tired. There were days when I thought my progress was too slow. But I reminded myself of one important thing. Small progress is still progress. Even learning one new word every day matters. I remember one week when I felt very frustrated. I could understand English while reading, but speaking was still difficult. I wanted to quit. But instead of stopping, I decided to practice even more. I spoke English for 10 extra minutes every day that week. Slowly, things became easier again. Another good habit is shadowing. Shadowing means listening to someone speaking English and repeating the words immediately after them. This practice improves pronunciation and speaking speed. I used shadowing while watching English videos. I repeated every sentence carefully. At first, I was slow, but later I became faster. Reading and speaking together create strong learning. When you read, you collect words and sentence patterns. When you speak, you use them. This combination helps English become natural. One day, I met a person online who also wanted to improve English. We practiced together every evening. We talked about movies, food, hobbies, and daily life. Sometimes our conversations were simple, but they helped us improve. Speaking with another learner made practice more fun. I also learned that confidence is very important. Many learners know grammar and vocabulary, but they are afraid to speak. Fear stops them. You do not need perfect English to communicate. You only need courage to try. When children learn language, they make many mistakes. But they keep speaking. That is why they improve quickly. English learners should do the same. Speak without fear. Learn from mistakes and continue moving forward. Another helpful thing is consistency. Practicing once a week is not enough. Even 15 minutes every day can create big improvement over time. Small daily practice is more powerful than long practice once in a while. I made English part of my daily life. I changed my phone language to English. I read English posts online. I watched English videos during free time. I surrounded myself with English little by little. Slowly, English stopped feeling like a school subject. It became part of my daily routine. I started understanding more. Speaking became easier. Reading became faster. Most importantly, I became more confident. Remember this. You do not need to be perfect. You only need to continue. Every page